We have Sally, Juan, Romain, and Armel Belakopchap. Armel was injured in the game. He's out for the rest of the season. He has a hamstring injury. Tino Livramento is back on training, but is still not ready to join us. And then we have Shea as a doubtful player. We need to wait until tomorrow morning to see if he can be available for us.
How are you feeling now about the prospect of relegation? Are you accepting of it, or is there still fight?
No, for us it's our job and our privilege to fight until the very last minute, and that's why we are going to do it. We know it's very close there, but we still have our chances. It's not mathematically there, so we are going to go for it. And again, it's our job and our privilege to be in this position, playing for Southampton and working in the Premier League, and then we are going to be there until the very last second.
How have you found motivating the players?
Yeah, it's getting harder, of course, because the situation is not helping, and has been a tough week for us. We put all we have in against Nottingham Forest, and we didn't get the result that we want. And always when you get hit like that, it's difficult to get the day after to work and then to be ultra or super motivated. But I think we are in a good place, and I think we are in a place that we can go tomorrow, compete, and try to win the game.
If you were to be relegated, do you see this as a club that would bounce straight back, or do you think there could be an exodus and it could be a real issue for Southampton?
No, I think when a club gets relegated, it's a real issue for everybody in the club, inside, for the city, for the players, for the workers in the club, technical staff. It's always a difficult period, but I think the club has everything just to bounce back very quick and be in the Premier League in the year after.
When you say everything, can you elaborate on that? What do you mean?
Yeah, I can elaborate. We have the support from a big city. We have our stadium with our fans that will support us. We have the organization inside, the technical staff, and the players and the future players. If it happens that they can help, we have a good structure with values, good philosophy, and then it's just to put the things on place to go to the next chapter.
Other clubs will come looking at your big players. Do you sense they would stay, or would it be inevitable?
Well, it's a complex question. If we go to the Championship, of course we have players that the other teams in the Premier League will come and look for it, and it's not always easy to keep them for different reasons, as you know, in terms of budget, in terms of motivation for the players. So it's going to be a very individual case. But of course, when you give that step, you need to be able to get rid of some players in order to get the very best of the situation.
And would you want to carry on in the Championship, or would you accept that maybe a fresh voice would be needed in that scenario?
Well, it's not for me to decide, but I would like to carry on in the Championship, but bounce back to the Premier League in the year after. So that's what I want to do it.
And have you been given any indication as to whether that would happen?
No, right now we are just focusing on our job, in our daily job, and try to get the team and being competitive in the weekend tomorrow, and then that's all about it. And we will talk about it if we need to talk about it at the end of the season.
In terms of Fulham, they're safe, they're in 10th. Could that work in your favour, the fact they don't have anything tangible to fight for?
Well, they are fighting to get the biggest amount of points in a season for them. I think it's 54 as I read, and it's always a team that is in a good mode, and then they have something to fight, something to prove, get as high as possible in the table. Also for some different reasons, I think they will come and they will be competitive, and I expect the best version for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Rubén.
Hi.
When you're dealing with the players individually at the moment, going into this crucial game, they're going to have different emotions about it. Every personality is different. Have you found that you've had to do more one-on-one pastoral style care with the players?
Well, unfortunately, we have been in the situation for quite a while right now. So those one-against-one situations, the emotions, feelings has been there, and we are dealing as in individual things as much as we can and help. Some of the players, they just prefer to be more communicative, some of them less communicative. So we just try to approach them individually as they want. Some of them, they have some more better feeling with one member of the technical staff of the other. So we try to be close to them as we have been during the last 3 months. We try to give the feedback as we should give to them. And then we try to listen and be close to them, because it's as we say always, whatever happen as a unit. We are a club, we are a team, and then that's how we need to face those situations. And we just try to transmit to them that whatever happens is not one individual making one mistake, it's all of us who probably had not been good enough.
And have any of their reactions had any bearing on your selection for this game?
No, absolutely not. I think the players that are injured are injured. I think players like Shea trying and fighting to be available for us, making a big effort in the game against Forest, is also trying to be with us and being there. And there is no more than that. We just take it for the moment. Everybody's working well. Everybody is going into the pitch and do the task, and then having a good mode. And has not been affecting my decision for the team tomorrow.
Behind the scenes, it feels only sensible to be having conversations about the inevitable or what could happen next season. Have you been privy to any of those conversations?
No, you know what happened when a situation like that is a lot of doubts for the future, and that is not only for us, it's for any club in our situation, and the other teams fighting for the relegation in the Premier League are in the same place. So I have not been part for that because really I'm focusing what I can do, but I understand that it can be there in one point, and it's already been there for sure.
And finally, you have a lot of quality in terms of young players. Are you going to be giving them more of an opportunity now?
Well, I don't know what that exactly means, because I think I already play with a lot of young players. So if that means to play with young players like Carlos Alcaraz, Romeo Lavia, Gavin Basunu, or any other that have been playing, they already played. If that means to give some opportunity for some of the academy boys, we will need to still be on it because they have been doing a good job there. And then for the last matches, we will think about it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rubén, I know you said it's not easy because the players now. You already talked last week about May being a difficult month when everyone starts whispering and gossip and agents and everything. How do you make sure that this team sticks together for the next 3 games, because it could fall apart if people decide to worry about themselves, not the team and the fans? How do you do that?
Well, we have been from the very beginning very honest with them and also very honest with you, so explaining everything that we have been doing. From the very beginning, we have a way to do things in terms of process, in terms of trainings, in terms of show information, and that we are not going to change. And they know what it is. So now when they open the door in the morning, they arrive. They know what's going on always. That's the first thing to keep with our habits and the way we structure the week, the way we structure the information, and the way we talk to them. That's the first thing. The second thing is just, as we said, everybody goes through the individual emotions, just to pay attention for those ones that are more emotional than the others and try to keep and support them. And I think every player and as a team, we have reasons before to break, and we didn't. And nothing shows me that or indicates me that they can happen. I think we still have the chance tomorrow. So it's our job and our privilege to try to do it tomorrow. And then from that, we will take the next game, because it's difficult, but it's always more difficult when somebody doesn't do the job.
How much would it mean to win against Fulham, having not won for 10 games, but also because your home fans have been starved of success for a long time? St Mary's has been a difficult place for the team to play before you arrived last summer. So how much would it mean to get a win against Fulham?
Well, I think we have been prepared, and we have made some performances to win more matches. I guess when I got the job that I can win more matches than we did it, and I think we were in the position to do it. We always talk about that. For us, it will be massive to get a victory tomorrow and to get a good performance. I think something that we have been deserving in some of the moments in the last month and a half. And we have been in the position to win football matches. It's not that we were not in the position or we were not even competitive. So tomorrow, what we need to do, first of all, to arrive into the game with a clear idea of what we do. And I think that's what we usually do. And the second, during the game, get the key moments for us that we have been missing a little bit in the last games. And then just with that, get a victory for us that it will be vital. And then it doesn't matter what happened in the other game, but we at least are going to make our job.
I've been saying and getting frustrated all season that we haven't seen the formation more than we did on Monday night, with Romeo sitting behind 2 others in a sort of 4-3-3 and the wide men playing high. Why has it taken so long for all the managers this season to see how, when they beat Chelsea in August with a 4-3-3 in a similar way, you beat City in the Cup, why has it not been easy to play like that every week?
Well, sorry to correct you, but both games against City and against Chelsea were in a 4-2-3-1. So that is like that. What you saw probably was more James Ward-Prowse a little bit more in the 8th position, but we also have that variation many times during the time. So yes, we have it, and when we know what are the qualities of our players, or we think we know it, sometimes it's just getting more in place than in another games, because that variation for Prowse has been there, and then we have been using that. But sometimes you need to adapt. We know, for example, against Nottingham Forest, it was not that much for us to go high and press, because they will have more a long approach. And in the pressure, they were not a high pressure team that will come. So that's why we can make that variation from the early build up. So that's why we did that. But we also need to take in consideration which team is in front. For example, Fulham will come tomorrow more aggressive in the first pressure, and then we need to give a different solutions that against Nottingham Forest.
You've got to deal with Mitrovic, first team to do that for a couple of months. What sort of problem does he pose you if he plays?
Yeah, first of all, they need to meet the selections, because Vinicius has been doing a good job for them. Mitrovic is capital, also has been capital during the season. He's a different player, he's a winner, he's a natural competitor. And then his movements on the pitch are very clear. So first game when we play against them, it was difficult to control him. And that's why he's one of the best strikers, has been one of the best strikers in the Premier League. So we will just, we know the movements, we know how he can try to move between the lines, his pressure. His relation with Pereira has been really good during the season. Pereira is not also there, so let's see if they select him to play or if he comes to the pitch during the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, move on to the section for 10:30 this evening. Start with you, Jacob.
I agree with that. Just on Adam's point, what system do you think works best for this current group of players? Is it the 4-3-3 or is it a formation that includes 2 number 10s?
No, it depends. I think the best thing for the team is to start with a back 4 and only use the back 5 as to close the games, as we did against Arsenal, or to try to close the game. I think from that, the teams right now in the Premier League are so dynamic that you should be able to manage between 1 or 2 6s and the 10s a little bit inside or outside. I think we have the players to do it. And I think we show in some different variants, because when you play against a team in the Premier League, doesn't matter how you start the game, after 15-20 minutes you need to modify that, because the opponent already adjusts, and it's the same in the other way around. So I think you should have always players in between lines, 1 or 2. In the beginning, when Shea was fit to play, we adjusted with the 9 and the 10 just being in that position. Then we make some other variations. Against Nottingham Forest, again, we thought that with only 1-6 was the correct thing to do. And then in the pressure, usually with the 4-2-2, you are able to be more aggressive and have more regains higher in the pitch. And that's why when we sit a little bit deeper, we use the 4-2-3-1 or alternatively the 4-3-3. But so it's not like an election that you have made clear. It's about how you move those players.
I think Ward-Prowse came out after the game against Forest and said the team haven't learned anything this season. Do you follow that? Do you agree?
Well, it's obvious that he was talking about the key moments of the game. I think he was not talking about any other fact than when we have the games for ourselves, to be relentless, to score those goals, or if we don't score those goals, to then don't let goals in quite easy. And that was his point, that we have the game in our hands, and then it's just one action when we make 2 or 3 situations that are not for us, and then we concede a goal that we should not concede. I think that was the lecture that Prowse wants to put there for you.
I guess there is a sense of vulnerability in this team, though. Do you lead on a psychologist at all to help the players through these?
Yeah, we got Christian like 1 month ago. It's not only to help the players, it's just because it's an area that in any professional sport and professional club should have a specialist right now. We didn't, and we brought Christian from Denmark, and he's helping us in the last month. Maybe it is too late, but he has been having a good impact in terms of our daily routines, our ways to analyze the games, our ways to analyze our own job, my own job as a manager, how we talk, how we communicate, how we should not communicate. So I think the psychologist or mental coach is capital right now, and that's why that's one of the points that when we took the team, we say we will try to make the team stay in a better position when we finish the season. One of them, of course, was to stay in the Premier League, but the other ones, the things around the team, like bringing a mental coach and some other supportive things that are mandatory for a professional team.
How does that work? Do the players go to him? Does he put on sessions?
No. Usually the approach it works. I think you have a lot of different approaches. The approach that we give is just to get a slow introduction from myself to start to the players to tell them that Christian is going to help us, but it's going to start with the technical stuff. Observing how do we send the message and how the message are intercommunicating between them and us, and then they are free to come and talk, and then slowly people engage. It's much better than that in that way, in my experience, than they get an impact or getting, because the situations right now is about trust, and you don't build trust from one day to the other.
Best luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Sure. Hi Rubén. I just wanted to follow on from a question you asked about young players, but in particular academy players. I know you watched them lift the trophy on Wednesday, which was obviously great. Is it easier to bring them in when relegation is confirmed with either 1 or 2 games left, if it is, and not now when it's a must-win game?
Yeah, of course it's easier. Of course it's easier because I think they have the quality. But we talk about it sometimes because we have a big number of players in the first team. It's difficult for them to find the pathway. And I think they have been doing an excellent season. They won the trophy, as you say. We have been watching and interacting with them during the whole season. I think they are players that in other circumstances, with probably less players in front of them, they will already get their chance. 1 or 2 of them to have some minutes. I think Dom did it in the cup for us, and yeah, it can be the point where we bring 1 or 2 into the squad for the last games.
Appreciate that. You just sort of spoke there about how you're reflecting on your own performances and the technical staff, speaking with psychologists, make sure they understand their own minds. I mean, I know you've learned a lot from this process, but do you look back and think there's anything that you wish you did differently, or will you come out at the end of this a better manager than when you started?
No, of course, we'll be stupid to say that we made everything perfect. That is not the case. We always reevaluate. I told you that is part of our process, and sometimes it's about the team selection, sometimes it's about the formation, sometimes it's about the way you communicate with somebody, sometimes. And in football, it's always easy to review, and when the things are not going well, to say, yeah, we should do this or that. But that's a reality that we need to make it. But it's the same when you win or when you lose. And if I was the same the first time I sit with you here than today, that will be a big mistake for me.
You feel you'll be a better manager next season?
I think I'm better every day, so that should be also indicator for the next season. But yeah, I still doing the best that I can, and I still have the power to carry on, and that means that we need to have the mentality to try to be better every day. That's what I try to put also in the club in the last 3 months.
I want to ask about Gavin Bazunu as well. I know he's come out of the team prior to Cardiff now, but how is he handling that? Is he still hungry? Is he still confident? Is he still believing in himself?
More than ever. So his answer has been really good. He's on the training, he engaged the training, he's supporting Alex McCarthy. He is the first one on the building every day, and his quality in the training is excellent. So he just, we talked to him, and we still have a couple of talks to continue that process. He knows the reasons, and then he will be a fantastic goalkeeper in the future, and he is right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alex?
I'm just wondering, what conversations have you had so far with people like Rasmus Ankersen about what happens beyond this weekend and beyond the end of the season? Do you speak to Rasmus on a regular basis?
Yeah, I speak with Ramos when I need to speak with him, as with some of the owners. We didn't have any conversation about what's the future in my concrete case. The club is preparing for the scenarios that can be, and I guess when they have something, they will communicate it to you in the coming days or weeks, as I said after Nottingham Forest game.
Would you expect a quick conclusion though? I mean, if relegation is confirmed tomorrow, would you expect a decision to be made next week?
Well, I don't think you need to hurry with some decisions, especially in the bad times. So you need to take a little bit time, and I expect also that from the club.
And in terms of the players, is it fanciful to expect somebody like James Ward-Prowse would stay in the Championship? He's given this club a lot of service. Has he almost earned the right to go and play in the Premier League next season?
Well, that is not for me to evaluate. If I was any other team of the Premier League and Southampton is not staying in the Premier League, what is not a mathematical yet, I will just try to get him because he's a fantastic player. But if I was in Southampton, I will try to stay with him because he's a capital player and a captain for us. So I cannot answer to you the question in any other way.
And I guess the same for someone like Romeo Lavia, because there's been talk that maybe he might stay for a year, then his clause at Manchester City kicks in, but is he another one that will be difficult to keep?
Listen, it's a time per year where the gossips and everything is there, and it's for everybody, or almost for everybody, and it's for, can be for Romeo, can be for Prowse, and it's the same for any other player. I think if the reality of the relegation it comes, the club of course need to change some things, and the players are gonna be one of those things for sure, as it is always in any other club. So it doesn't, because we can talk about names during the next hour, and then the answer will be the same, because all of them, they have some qualities that will be interesting for any other team in the Premier League, or for the teams away in the main leagues in the world. So that will be like that. We need to be prepared, and then we need to have the clear idea what we want to do.
Just finally, last time the club went down, it took 7 years to come back up. There was an administration. They went right the way down to League One for the first time in 50 years. Are you 100% confident that there will be no repeat of that? The club is in better shape this time to deal with relegation?
I think the club is in shape to deal with the relegation, and the club have the capacity and ability to bounce back. 100% in football you can never say, because I will be lying to you, but I think the club is ready to do that, and I think we have everything just to do it.